Hi Cancer, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of October. There is a whole different energy to the month and much more helpful energy for moving ahead. The month of September had several planets retrograde. All of the outer planets were retrograde, and then Mercury, which is a personal planet that represents communication, business, and transportation, among other things, retrograded on September 27th at 25 degrees of Libra in your house of home and family and emotional foundation. And Mercury will be retrograde until October 18th. And this enables you to reassess how you get your security, how you build your home and your structures in this new time. And realistically, you are the sign of home and family. And it's been a very difficult time for all of us. We are in a new era, and this retrograde gives you an opportunity. If you are in your own business, what can you streamline? What can you make more effective? And currently, the Sun, Mars, and Mercury are all transiting in this sector of your chart. Mars entered there in the middle of September, and the Sun is there for a little while longer, and Mercury will be there until November 6th. So a lot of focus on getting your needs met and on building foundation. So on October 1st, Neptune forms what's known as a quintile to the North Node of Destiny. And the North Node is transiting in Gemini in your house of dreams and spirituality. And this could bring faded opportunities and creative projects, but there is combative energy. Later that day at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Mars, which rules your house of career and life goals, it rules the sign of Aries, opposes Chiron, the wounded healer. Mars is transiting in Libra in your house of home and family, opposing Chiron in your house of career and public image. So there may be some issues at work. Maybe you're feeling vulnerability at home. Maybe there are issues at home, but people could be a bit combative or emotional. And Pluto squares Mercury that day at 10:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could bring big changes for you. Perhaps news gets uncovered. It can bring power struggles with relationships, so you want to be wary of that. But it also is excellent for doing research and getting to the bottom of things. Also, if you're cleaning up your space, your home, getting rid of things, purging, that's excellent energy for that. On October 2nd, there's more harmonious energy. Venus, which is the planet of love and money, forms a beautiful sextile to Pluto, the planet of empowerment and transformation. And this occurs at 3:48 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And Venus is currently transiting in Scorpio, where it's in its detriment, in your house of romance and love affairs and creativity. And this could be a very up-leveling energy around love and money. So that's an empowering aspect. On October 3rd, the Sun opposes Chiron, and that could bring more light to emotional issues that you're processing. On October 6th, there is a new moon that takes place at 7:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 13 degrees and 25 minutes of Libra. This new moon occurs in your house of home and security. This is an excellent new moon for setting intentions, for doing the law of abundance, and really getting clear on what you want to build in this age of Aquarius, and focusing on this annual new moon in your house of needs and foundation. And on that day, on the new moon, let's see here, we've got Pluto, the planet of death and renewal, stationing direct at 24 degrees and 19 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. That is your opposite sign, We feel that station 5 days before and 5 days after. May have been demoted to the dwarf planet, but Pluto does not mess around. It brings massive change, but it also helps to let go and eliminate things that are not helping us. And for you, Pluto is transiting in your house of partnerships. So that's a major deal. Feel it 5 days before, but 5 days after. And now we've got one planet stationing direct. That's a good thing. And then on October 7th, Venus enters the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius at 7:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until November 5th. And it's transiting in your house of work and habits and daily routine. And that could be pleasant for fixing up the workplace. Maybe you're trying to get in shape. Maybe you're working on your appearance or your habits, and that brings a positive, hopeful energy. Venus in Sagittarius is a lot of fun. And then on October 8th, the Sun meets up with Mars at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this occurs in your house of home and foundation, good for getting work done at home. If you have your own business, or if you're working on your house, could be a little fiery, but it's good for getting things accomplished. On October 9th, the Sun and Mercury meet up at 12:18 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of home and family, and this is good for getting organized and getting work done. Mercury and Mars both meet up at 6:48 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that definitely can be a bit more combative with relatives and at home. Good for working, getting things done. Be careful, because Mars can be impulsive, but that's a little more fiery. On October 10th, we have another planetary station. Saturn stations direct at 6 degrees and 56 minutes of the fixed air sign of Aquarius at 10:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this occurs in your house of death and renewal. It's the house of intimacy and blocked wounds. It's the house of taxes and debt and joint resources. And Saturn's going to be in this sector of your chart on and off until March 7th of 2023. Structuring your goals in healing. We've all experienced loss of some form. We're all reinventing ourselves. This is an opportunity. It's not an easy cycle, but an opportunity to structure your financial goals, get your debt in order, and do healing work, inner healing work. And so Saturn's now direct. So now we have two planets direct. On October 13th, Venus forms a beautiful sextile to Saturn at 3:26 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that could be helpful for you for work and financial opportunities. So that's a nice energy. On October 15th, the Sun forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter at 7:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's a very optimistic energy for you regarding healing work. Jupiter is transiting in Aquarius in your house of transformation and healing and money and loss, and will be there through the end of December of this year. And Jupiter gives opportunities to connect and network as you evolve in your healing process. So Sun trine Jupiter is excellent. On October 16th, we also have really healing and beautiful energy. Venus forms a beautiful trine to Chiron, the wounded healer. And this occurs at 2:49 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That is very romantic and healing energy. Chiron is transiting in your house of career as you reinvent your public image and your life goals. And then later that day, Mercury forms a beautiful sextile to Venus at 9:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could be a time of sweet nothings and good communication and fun and just nice energy with communication and romantic energy. On the 17th, we've got intense energy. The Sun squares Pluto at 8:12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it is showing us what's working and what's not working for you. There could be issues with family or with relationships, but it's also helping us to shed the layers that are blocking us, shed the layers we need to shed, and also eliminating things that are impeding our progress. And the big deal too, we have another planetary station, Jupiter, the grand benefic, stations direct at 10:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on October 18th at 1:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 22 degrees and 20 minutes of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. Whew, thank God. Jupiter is the planet of optimism and good luck, and it's in your house of healing. We feel that 5 days before and 5 days after, and that's a planet of abundance, and we need that. And Mercury, the planet of communication, stations direct on October 18th at 11:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 10 degrees and 8 minutes of Libra, and stations direct in your house of home, and it will be there until November 6th. So this helps you to get organized in your home, in your business, getting things done. Now we have all the planets direct. Oh, 4 planets direct, not all the planets, but we have 4 planets direct. Thank God. So this is good news. And then we have, let's see, on the 20th, there is a full moon that takes place at 10:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 27 degrees and 26 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And that for you may be intense because this defaults back to when Mars retrograded on September 9th of last year at 28 degrees of Aries, which is the second to final degree. And Mars rules Aries. It's the ruler. It's in its rulership. So when it retrograded last fall, it was hard to get things done and move ahead. This full moon speaks back to that period. Maybe it's giving you completion on what you've been working on since last year, and particularly last fall. Mars was in Aries for half of the year last year, and hopefully it brings completion to projects you're working on currently and brings fruition to them. Moon in Aries can be fiery though. That, it's ruled by Mars. And then, and that I think is enhanced by the fact that on the following day, on March 21st, Mars squares Pluto at 9:20 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on October 22nd at 12:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And those are both the rulers of Scorpio. It's an up-leveling energy, but can be very combative and warlike. And it's good for doing a cleanse, for purging things, getting rid of things, detoxing, all of that. On October 23rd, the sun enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio in your house of romance and love affairs and creativity, and it will be there until it'll be there until November 21st, and enters at 12:51 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So that's bringing more light to your fun and love affairs, and that's a nice thing. And then on October 23rd, on October 26th rather, Venus squares Neptune at 9:06 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring issues with, that could bring deception or confusion. It's a very manifesting energy, but it could be a bit confusing in relationships. On October 28th, Venus and Jupiter are both in harmony, and they form a sextile at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's a really lovely energy and good for you, for your finances and for work. On October 30th, the day before Halloween, we have challenging energy. The sun squares Saturn at 5:51 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's a reality check, and it can be a bit challenging, or there can be delays. And then later that day, Mars enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio at 10:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of romance, creativity, and love affairs. It will be there until December 13th. So now you got the Sun and Mars there. And Mars takes approximately 2 years to transit. So it's going to be where the action is. If you're single, great for your love life, great for your creative endeavors. And Mars is fearless in Scorpio and good for getting things done. On Halloween, Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter at 9:18 p.m. Eastern Pacific Daylight Time, and on November 1st at 12:18 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's good for socializing and having fun. And I wish you a lot of luck, Cancer. We're moving ahead. Thank you.